Good news, friends. It seems as though the newest thing in design for 2026 isn't new at all, but it's about remembering. And I think that the DIY movement is the great resistance we all need right now. I know you've seen the meme on Instagram, and it goes something like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I can spend the rest of my life asking, is this AI? And I think it's obvious that we are completely just oversaturated with tech, with social media, and just constantly being on our screens. And I think that's being reflected in a lot of different areas. I think it's being reflected in what designers are saying 2026 design trends are. It's being reflected in the kind of content that you find trending on YouTube. There's a backlash against AI art. There's a backlash against the digital in general. There's a backlash against all the robotic voices that we're hearing on YouTube ads. There's a backlash even against a lot of Hollywood. I think that you can hear a lot of people talking about Hollywood's imploding, and I think it's because sometimes it does feel like the scripts are written by AI bots. I think the truth is that we are yearning for authenticity. We've been pushed to the edge. Things have gotten so crazy, and we're tired of design magazines trying to convince us that we want to live in the sterility of a doctor's office. We want to be surrounded by white kitchens and gray walls and black leather furniture. I just don't think any of that has ever spoken to anyone's heart or soul. And if you're a person who tends to follow the trend, I think this is good news, because what we're seeing in a lot of design magazines now, and a lot of designers are saying that we are having a return to warm earth tones in design. So burgundies and pinks, and we're having a return to jewel tones, turquoise, blues, reds, and I love this. We're having a return to texture and pattern. And you know, I think that it's because we're all sort of longing to live in grandma's house again. We're sick of the sterility and the impersonal nature of everything around us, that instead of all that, we want to live with paneled walls covered in our granny's quilts. We're done with LED lights. We want to live in a room with an incandescent light in a lamp on a table. We want warms and pinks and turquoises, and we want cozy. We want home. So even this, for some reason, is controversial. This Pantone saying that their color of the year is Cloud Dancer. It isn't white. It's a warmer, softer version of white. And it goes with, it blends in beautifully with all of these new trends of these warm, golden, glowing earth tones that we're moving toward. And I think all of this is great news. So apparently what the designers are touting, and I love this, is in decor, dramatic pattern and color, and these things that really just promote an emotional connection. So this is the art you want on your walls, right? Made by a human hand. People want human connection now more than ever, mostly because we've lost so much of it, right? And so they want art on the walls that they can feel the texture. They can see the artist's hand on the canvas, because when they see that, they can feel the artist's story, and they want something made by the hand of a living, breathing, laughing, loving, suffering, thinking human being. And I think all of this is such great news. We want our homes to feel like a calm sanctuary, or maybe even a fun house, but whatever it is, it's bold colors, it's warm colors, but it's color. And that's huge. It's great for me, right? Because I love color, and I create with a lot of color, but it's also just joyful to be in a place full of colors, whether they're bright or warm and soothing. Now, we're finally realizing as a people that we have sacrificed our lives to this digital matrix that is the internet, and it's too much. We want to pull ourselves out. And I see this everywhere. Now, I am a little bit of a sucker for those YouTube reaction videos where these 30-somethings listen to music of their parents or grandparents, and react, right? It's become very trendy, but I love it because I'm watching people wake up to what the culture has become, which, if you're looking at popular culture and the kind of music, since these reaction videos are about music, the kind of music people are force-fed now, unless you are a person who wants to go on your own and seek out, you know, lesser known musicians. What they're feeding you is drivel. And so you watch these people listen to Simon and Garfunkel or Loretta Lynn, or and they're gobsmacked by the honesty and the authenticity of it. The musicians are real, the voices are real with no auto-tune. And I heard one say, oh, so back in the day, the popular music that the kids listened to was the good music. So there's a nostalgia for that. And I mean, I watched this one video where they're watching this live outdoor Lynyrd Skynyrd concert, and it was obvious. They say out loud, you know, this is the life we could have had. This is the kind of freedom we don't have anymore. There are no phones in sight. Just a bunch of kids listening to great music made by real human musicians playing real musical instruments in the sun, most of them sunburned. They're loving it. There's reactions to All in the Family, the old sitcom All in the Family, and they can't believe that it ever aired. And I think this is all causing us to make adjustments in our lives, which is, I think, a great thing. I'm also seeing this term biophilic art lately, and that's very trendy. And it's, you know, people putting actual objects from nature in their art. I know a very cool collage artist. She puts dried leaves and branches on her art and on the canvases. And if it's all going to fall off, that's fine. That's the point. You know, and that is just, to me, so cool. It is so Lynyrd Skynyrd concert of the 70s. It is so Flower Power of the 60s. It's so Barefoot Kid. And I love it, so that the trend moving forward is really a looking back. It's a remembering, which I love, because, you know, all of my art is about remembering in a way. I mean, here we have Jimi Hendrix, a guitar god of the past, who lives on. And I have him depicting Dionysus, you know, an ancient god, grapes in his hair. There's hippie girls dancing all over the canvas. And I infused them with pieces of my grandparents' love letters. So to me, to be rooted in the present is all about really honoring and remembering our past. And I think that's what's happening everywhere. And the way we design our homes and the way we create the spaces that we live in is really indicative of what's in our hearts and what's in our souls. And so I think this is a really cool trend. And this all folds into the DIY thing. Why do I say it's the resistance? Well, I think it's important. I have a booth at Scott Market every month, and people flow into my booth and tell me stories of their creativity. These are not professional artists. They're artists they're people, humans, who understand that there could be a gaping hole in their lives that can be filled with creativity. And they'll tell me about the art they're making. They show me their pictures of the stuff they make on their phones. They tell me what they used to make and how they yearn to make more. And my whole mission is to convince them to do that. I want everyone to do that. And when they leave my booth, I try to plant a seed so that when they leave, this little seed starts to grow of, I need to get home and make some art. What am I doing with my spare time if I'm not creating something beautiful that only I can make? No one else can make it. I think that's awesome. What is the point of my video today, you might be asking? There's nothing wrong with nostalgia. Sometimes it's the nostalgia that moves us forward. And in order to fully embrace this new, beautiful trend in living, not in just design, of embracing the real, the authentic, the handmade, the nostalgic, the warm, the bright, the beautiful, the lively, and kick this stark, cold minimalism that we've been enduring to the curb is a good thing. And this is where DIY comes in, right? You make your own art, put your own art on the walls, make something as beautiful as you can, because it will make you a better person. And I really believe that. And there's this Kurt Vonnegut quote. I'm going to read it so that I don't mess it up. And you've probably seen it. It's from a speech he gave at a college commencement. So here's what he says. Go into the arts. The arts are not a way of making a living. They are a very human way of making life more bearable. Practicing an art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow. Sing in the shower, dance to the radio, tell stories, write a poem to a friend, even a lousy poem, do it as well as you possibly can. You will get an enormous reward. You will have created something. So I guess the point of the whole video really is to remind myself and you, if we live in the same kingdom, to take heart. Authenticity is the new black. It's trending, and I think that's super cool. So go make some stuff and have fun. Happy 2026. Rock on.